Hey everybody, it's Nick here again for Grayscale Gorilla. I am the Gorilla, and I have a quick tip for you guys today. I was just in here playing around with some physical MoGraph fun stuff here in cinema, as I'm always doing, and I came across an issue where I couldn't get spheres that are rolling around the screen to stop going through my camera. And I've had this issue a few times, and really what I usually do is try to move the camera around or direct the particles in another direction, but I think I found a kind of a fun little solution that may help if you ever have particles that want to go through the camera. So let me show you what I'm talking about. Just playing around in cinema here with some nice reflective spheres, as I always do. What happens is, you hit play, and let me make sure they're not wireframe. There we go. You hit play, and this is kind of what happens sometimes. You have this nice little kind of fall, and then the spheres are rolling through the camera. And up to that point, everything's got this nice physical feeling, like we're in the room and the gravity's working. But then when things actually roll through the camera, your brain kind of says, that's not supposed to happen. So how do we fix it? Like I said, I used to kind of maybe direct the spheres another way or move the camera a little bit, but I was playing around and I came up with this little idea. If you take a sphere and essentially we're going to move away from the camera here and basically use the sphere as kind of a deflector and make your camera a real kind of physical part of the calculation as well. So what I'm doing is just placing the sphere kind of where the camera is. And you can move around here. We could just kind of pan around and move the sphere. We'll get there eventually. There we are. Now, the sphere is on top of the camera. And what we essentially want to do is set it to be part of the physics calculation. So we just hit right click, go to MoGraph tags, add a rigid body tag. And now when you see, it'll do the calculation and the spheres are going to bounce off our camera, pretty much. So obviously we need to turn off the sphere from the render. So what we use are these traffic lights, I've heard them called, and they represent basically two things. One is turning it off in the editor, and one is turning it off in the render. So you see, if we only turn one of those traffic lights red, this top one, it's gone in the editor, but when we hit render, it shows up. And this means that if you want to go to your camera and watch it, the spheres are kind of behaving the way we want. They're bouncing off this other sphere, right? But then when we hit render, you're going to see it's actually rendering the inside of the sphere. So you have to make sure both of these traffic lights are on. Now when we render, you're seeing we're getting the whole scene here. Now it's being blocked by this kind of pink sphere, and there's actually something we could do to fix that as well. If we move back out and turn our sphere back on, what we really only need to block is the lens. And if we make this too large of an object, the spheres are all going to bounce off this like it's a wall. But all we really want is like a bumper. We just want to deflect those spheres away from really just the lens. So we can just make this kind of a super small thing just so the spheres never cross the path of the lens. So we could just kind of make a lens-shaped sphere here, position it right, turn it off, and go back to our camera. And let's see what that does. Now these should kind of approach the camera and maybe like bounce off. Boom, that's what we wanted. And we could even cheat it a little bit if we go back out and move the sphere over to try to get this pink guy the heck out of my way. So let's go back. Let's see what we got. And now we have these nice physics calculations like when the camera gets hit. Now, we can even use this to our advantage, maybe shake the camera when it gets hit. Or what else can we do? We can, add glass cracks to the screen or something fun, right? When these big boulders hit the camera. Something else to kind of think about too. What if you put the camera in a sphere that has the rigid body tag, but it's also being kind of tackled by the physics. So now the sphere is the camera is inside of a sphere and is rolling around, kind of like in a hamster ball or something. How much fun would that be? What can you create with that? But anyway, I just thought that was kind of an interesting little fix for a problem I was having, and I thought you guys would like to see it. So just a quick one today. Stay tuned. We're going to have some more tutorials and everything coming up. And if you guys are playing around in Cinema today, do a render, post it up, and throw it in the comments. And I'm sure everyone love to see what you're working on and what you're learning. So, you know, it goes everywhere. If you found some cool little trick, make a little video, throw it up, and help everybody. So thanks again for watching, and I'll see you guys in another tutorial really soon. Have a good one. Bye, everybody.